Long, long ago, when the world was still getting used to sunshine and raindrops, lived a little spider named Pip. Pip was a tiny fellow, with legs as thin as dandelion stems and eyes like shiny dewdrops. Unlike the other creatures, Pip didn't sing sweet songs or fly on colorful wings. He was quiet, often hidden, and, truth be told, a bit lonely. Now, back then, spiders didn't weave webs. They just scurried about on the ground, hunting like everyone else. But Pip was different. He watched the other creatures, the busy ants, the soaring butterflies, the chirping crickets, and felt a strange yearning. They seemed to have a place, a purpose, a way to connect with the world around them. Pip felt adrift. One evening, as the sky turned a soft shade of orange, Pip saw a firefly blink its tiny light. It was a beautiful spark in the growing darkness. Pip felt a pang in his tiny heart. He wanted to create something beautiful too, something that would shine, something that would show he was there. He looked up at a dukist leaf, and an idea sparked in his mind, as bright as that little firefly. He had this amazing silk inside him, a strong, sticky thread. What if he could use it? The next morning, Pip started his work. He climbed onto a branch, his tiny legs trembling slightly. Slowly, carefully, he began to spin a thread from his body. It was a slow process, and the thread wasn't perfectly straight. It wobbled and dipped, catching on tiny twigs. The other creatures watched him with curious eyes. A grumpy beetle grumbled, "What's that clumsy Pip doing? Trying to catch the air?" A fleeting ladybug giggled, "It looks like a messy string." Pip didn't pay them any mind. He was focused. He spun and spun, creating lines that stretched between branches. He worked all day, and by sunset, a delicate net of silvery threads hung in the air. It wasn't perfect, but it was his. The next morning, something wonderful happened. A tiny dewdrop, round and shimmering, landed right in the middle of Pip's creation. It sparkled like a tiny diamond in the sunlight. Pip felt a thrill. It was beautiful. Then, a small, unsuspecting gnat, buzzing happily, flew right into the sticky threads. It got stuck. Pip, though he'd never caught anything like this before, instinctively knew what to do. Gently, he moved towards the gnat. The grumpy beetle, who was watching from below, exclaimed, "Aha! So that's what he's doing. He's just being sneaky, trying to trap food." The ladybug nodded, "I knew it. Spiders are just clever hunters." But Pip didn't eat the nut immediately. Instead, he carefully wrapped it in more of his silky thread. He wasn't just hunting. He was creating a tiny, silken package. Over the next few days, Pip continued to weave, making his web stronger and more intricate. He caught flies and gnats, yes, but he treated each one with a sort of respect. He carefully wrapped them, not just to hold them, but almost as if he was presenting them like tiny gifts hung on his sparkling creation. One evening, the wise old owl, who had seen countless seasons pass, perched on a nearby branch. He watched Pip working diligently on his web, the moonlight glinting on the silken threads. The owl hooted softly, "Little Pip, why do you weave such intricate webs?" Pip, startled but not scared, replied in a tiny voice, "Well, at first, I wanted to make something beautiful, like the firefly's light. Something to show I was here." The owl nodded slowly. Pip continued, and then I realized that my web, it's a way to connect. When the dewdrops land, they shimmer. When the wind blows, it makes my web sway like a tiny dance. And even when I catch a fly, it's part of my creation. It's part of the story my web tells." The other creatures, who had gathered to listen to the wise owl, were silent. They had always assumed Pip was just building a trap. They had never considered the beauty, the connection, the story within his creation. The owl blinked his large, knowing eyes. "You see, He hooted to the others, Pip doesn't weave just to hunt. He weaves to connect with the world, to create beauty, to leave his mark, however small. His web is his song, his dance, his way of saying, I am here, and this is what I can do. From that day on, the creatures looked at spiderwebs differently. They saw not just sticky traps, but intricate works of art, shimmering with dew, swaying in the breeze, each one a testament to the little spider's desire to connect and create. And so, the truth was revealed, the spider wove his web not just for food, but for beauty, for connection, and to show the world, in his own quiet way, that he was there. This, dear friends, is the real reason why the spider weaves his magnificent web, a truth woven into the very fabric of the world.